Let me see him.
He's extremely ill.
You have to tell me where he was, what he was doing.
It was his decision to go in. It's something they termed the Shimmer. We've sent in drones and teams of people, but nothing comes back.
But something has.
Hello, everyone. Grandma's back again.
Yes.
Back at the movies again.
Yes.
Hope you all are getting out to the movies too, because it's fun to go to the movies.
It is.
And this time, Grandma went to the film with the rather ominous title, Annihilation. Ooh.
That is ominous.
It stars Natalie Portman as a biology professor who, she lost her husband in some mysterious mission he went on
a year
ago. Yes. And she's sort of grieving over him. But then, sure enough, if he just doesn't appear out of nowhere and doesn't know where he's been or how he got there or anything like that, he starts to have a seizure, and eventually the two of them end up in some sort of secret government installation. She finds out again he was on some mysterious mission, and she becomes part of another mission to sort of find out what happened to the husband's mission.
And previous missions before that?
Because as it turns out, some sort of alien something landed in this lighthouse off the East Coast, and some sort of large, what they call the shimmer, sort of wall of energy or something is expanding from the lighthouse and basically sort of just taking over everything in its path.
All living things.
And so she and these other women go into the shimmer to find out what happened, and a lot of strange sci-fi things happen. Should note that this is a science fiction film, but this is not your sort of Star Wars, Star Trek-y sort of, aliens and spaceships and that sort of sci-fi film. This is a science fiction film with the emphasis on science. What did you think, Grandma?
I'll have to admit that this is a story where I never knew, never had a clue, never had a hint as to what was going to happen next. It was very, very original and very interesting. It was so intricate that you had to really pay attention from one situation to another. She went in past the shimmer into the inside, one of 5 women, and each woman had a particular role, in the scientific investigation, and was different. And each of those women had different experiences inside the shimmer. Because everything was evolving, everything was changing all the time. And they could hardly depend on their past experiences and their scientific language. I mean, they were all carrying machine guns, but even the machine guns weren't always effective against in the situations they found themselves in. It was fascinating.
Did you like it?
I'm not sure whether I liked it or not. It was...
Was it good?
Yes, it was very good. It certainly was accomplishing its mission, I think, which was to
confuse you.
Mystify. I was going to use mystify us, and at the same time grab us, so that we wanted to follow along, so we could solve the mystery here, you know. And every now and then we'd have a flashback to our heroine, Lena, was the character's name, Lena's life in the real world, you know, that would add another little dimension to the character that she was playing, that you know, we were following. It was really good, I thought, but I don't know whether I liked it. It was such a strange story and very original. I'm not sure who the writers were. Was it based on a novel or anything?
Based on a novel, yes.
It is based on a novel, okay. So the original idea came from a novelist who had this brilliant idea.
The director wrote the screenplay, but it was based on a novel.
Well, they did a good job. What did you think?
Well, I think I'm sort of a bit like you. Again, I thought it was very well made. I mean, Natalie Portman was very good. Her husband was played by Oscar Isaac, again, another actor we know. And, you know, they did a very good job. The whole production was very weird and creepy and very well done, very believable. However, when I don't think that it ever got to the point where you were able to sort of understand it. It was, you know, it's one thing for it to be sort of confusing and mysterious, and you don't sort of know what's going on from, you know, and you're following it, and, you know, it's very intriguing. But for you to never really sort of catch on or never really get any sort of an explanation, again, it just, even by the end, they sort of were trying to, I think, give you a reason for everything you saw, but it wasn't really much of a reason, much of an explanation, and you were still left, I think, just being confused by the whole thing.
And you're left with, okay, now what happens?
Well,
you know,
okay, I didn't even get that far. I mean, you got to the end of the movie, and you didn't. I didn't even get to thinking about, well, what happens to her now? What happens to her husband now? I mean, and then what happens to? You know, I didn't even get that far.
Well, I got that far because neither one of them was quite sure.
The closest, when I was watching it, the closest thing I could come to comparing it is the end of like 2001: A Space Odyssey, which if you've ever seen that film, and again, it's all sort of weird special effects, and you're not quite sure what's going on, and all that sort of stuff. But even that, I think, is more understandable than this is. I just never was able to figure out what in the world is going on. Where is this going? What's happening?
Especially where is this going?
Well, again, and just that got frustrating to me. Again,
I hear you.
It's one thing for you to be, you know, intrigued and interested and following along, but it's another thing for it to just go nowhere and you get sort of frustrated. Right. So, I mean, it's very interesting, and, you know, people might want to see it, but I don't know that I would recommend it. What about you, Grandma?
For all of the reasons that you have highlighted here, I agree with you.
Well, you were just saying it was what a great movie it was, though.
It is a good movie. But am I going to recommend it? No, because I'm as frustrated as you are.
Okay.
And we're reasonably intelligent human beings, the two of us. I mean, you know, I think we're reasonably intelligent, and we've seen a movie or two and read a story or two. You know, this one, I just am frustrated by it. That's my word.
So are you giving it any thumbs at all?
No thumbs. I'm not recommending it.
Not even a sideways thumb.
Okay, since it is well done.
You're going to give it a sideways.
We can sideways it. It is well done and well acted, but extremely frustrating.
Okay.
It's not a relaxing movie.
Not relaxing, okay.
No.
You were looking for a relaxing movie?
If you're going to the movie theater to relax, Don't choose this one. Choose something more understandable, because this one was very frustrating.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
That's
But we do agree. It was well done, well acted, but no.
okay.
No recommendation.
Boop, boop.